Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to be here with you today. Today's presentation is all about spotting toxic people in the first minute. The goal is to help you save your energy and protect your peace. Over the next few slides, we'll explore practical tips and insights on how to identify these individuals quickly and effectively. So, let's get started and learn how to guard your well-being from the very beginning. Let's talk about the value of early detection in life and relationships. You see, time is our most precious resource, and recognizing toxic behavior early on can make a huge difference. When you can identify the signs quickly, you save yourself from wasting energy, experiencing emotional harm, and enduring unnecessary frustration that can last for years. Psychologists and behavioral experts agree. These toxic traits often become obvious almost instantly if you're paying attention and know what to look for. On this slide, I want to emphasize that there are 10 clear signs, observable within the first minute of interaction, that could indicate someone might not be healthy to bring into your life. Recognizing these signs early gives you the power to protect yourself and make better choices about who you let in. So, understanding these cues is a vital part of safeguarding your emotional well-being and maintaining healthy relationships. Let's talk about what I call sign 1, conversation domination. You'll notice that toxic people often try to take control of the conversation very quickly. Instead of genuinely being interested in what you have to say, they steer the discussion back to themselves. This isn't about listening or curiosity. It's about oversharing, bragging, or trying to prove they're superior. And it's important to understand that this behavior isn't confidence. It's actually insecurity hiding behind a mask of self-importance. Recognizing this pattern helps us see through the tactics they use to dominate interactions and maintain their sense of control. On this slide, we're focusing on a common sign that someone might be draining your energy, and that is how energy itself is contagious. When you enter a room or start a conversation, in just the first few seconds, you often feel whether you're being drawn in or quietly pushed away. It's almost instinctive. Next, we look at projecting negativity. Toxic people tend to do this quite a bit. They might sigh loudly, complain about everything, or even use subtle sarcasm that makes you feel uncomfortable. And then, pay close attention to your body's reaction. If you notice yourself feeling tense, guarded, or uneasy right away, that's a strong indicator that the interaction isn't healthy for you. Remember, recognizing these signs early can help you protect your energy and maintain your well-being. Let's talk about sign 3, disrespecting boundaries. Pay attention to how someone treats your personal space, your time, or even small boundaries you might have. Do they interrupt you when you're speaking? Do they invade your physical space without permission? Or push you to talk about things you're not ready to share? These are all red flags. A lack of respect within the first 60 seconds can actually be a warning sign of bigger violations later on. It's really about noticing whether they honor your boundaries or disregard them. And remember, respecting boundaries is a foundational part of healthy interactions. When that respect is missing early on, it often foreshadows future issues. So, keep an eye out for how they treat your space and your comfort. These early signals matter a lot. Let's talk about signs 4 and 5, gossip and sharp humor. When it comes to gossip about others, toxic people often reveal a lot about their character through how they speak. If the first thing they do is criticize, mock, or belittle someone, it's a red flag. That same negativity and energy will likely be directed toward you eventually. Now, moving on to humor with a sharp edge. Pay close attention to their jokes. If their humor is sprinkled with subtle insults, condescension, or digs at others, it's not just harmless banter. Often, passive-aggressive humor is really a mask for hostility or insecurity. Recognizing these signs helps us better understand who we're dealing with and maintain healthier boundaries. These behaviors connect directly to the overall theme of recognizing toxic traits early on. Let's talk about signs 6 and 7, unease and status games. First, feeling of unease. Our intuition is actually a very powerful detector. If you ever get that gut feeling that something's off, even if you can't quite put it into words, it's worth trusting. Our nervous system is constantly picking up on microexpressions, shifts in tone, and even subtle signs of aggression. These signals often reach us long before our rational mind even processes what's happening. So, paying attention to that instinct can give you a crucial heads up. Now, moving on to playing status games. Toxic individuals tend to be obsessed with hierarchy and dominance. In just the first minute of interaction, they might try to subtly one-up you, maybe through interrupting, dropping names, or undermining your experiences. The goal here is to establish dominance, and often to make you feel smaller or less important in the interaction. Recognizing these tactics can help you stay grounded and not get caught up in their power plays. It all ties back to understanding social dynamics and protecting your own sense of stability in these situations. Let's talk about signs 8 and 9. Lack of empathy and contempt. First, lack of empathy. Empathy is something we can often sense pretty quickly. If you share something, even if it's just a small detail, and the other person dismisses it, brushes it aside, or redirects the conversation back to themselves, that's a clear sign they might be emotionally unavailable. It shows they're not truly engaged or interested in understanding your perspective. Now, moving on to body language signals of contempt. These are often subtle microexpressions, but they speak volumes. Look out for eye rolls, smirks, dismissive glances, or exaggerated sighs. These small gestures can be strong predictors of toxic behavior. If you notice any of these within the first minute of interaction, it's a sign to take it seriously and consider how you want to proceed. Both these signs, lack of empathy and contempt, are important because they can tell us a lot about how someone might behave in the long run. Recognizing these early can help us protect our emotional well-being and foster healthier interactions. Now let's talk about sign 10, rushing connection. This is a subtle but very dangerous sign that can often go unnoticed. Basically, toxic people might try to speed up how quickly you become close to them, often in ways that feel unnatural. For example, they might shower you with over-the-top compliments, overshare personal details right away, or push for a sense of intimacy much faster than is healthy. What's really important to understand here is that these behaviors are often a form of manipulation. It can look like warmth and friendliness, but underneath, it's an attempt to control or influence your feelings early on. Recognizing this sign is crucial because it helps you see through the tactics some people use to gain your trust quickly, which can be a red flag for unhealthy or toxic intentions. As we've discussed throughout this presentation, understanding these subtle cues can empower you to set boundaries and protect yourself. Rushing connection is a tactic that, if left unchecked, can lead to deeper issues down the line. So, stay alert for these signs and trust your instincts when someone is pushing too hard for closeness too soon. All right, as we wrap up, I want to emphasize that spotting toxicity within the first minute isn't about being paranoid. It's really about protecting your energy. When you're able to recognize these patterns early on, you're giving yourself a powerful gift, the gift of choice. You can decide whether to engage further or to step back. Remember, healthy people tend to make you feel safe, seen, and respected almost immediately, within that first 60 seconds. They often communicate warmth through their words, tone, and presence. On the flip side, toxic individuals tend to reveal red flags right away. These can show up through their words, the tone they use, or how they carry themselves. Trust your instincts. The sooner you identify toxicity, the quicker you can walk away. And by doing so, you're bringing yourself closer to building healthier, more fulfilling relationships. It's all about listening to that inner voice and acting on it, because your energy and well-being are worth protecting.